Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com.
The Crossroads are set to brace for cold weather. The temperature will dip to the 30s this week.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us now with a report on the upcoming freeze watch. Trenton.
Shauna, Dawn, thank you. The National Weather Service issued a freeze watch this week for several South Texas counties. B County and Victoria County are some of the local counties under freeze advisory. It's in effect from late tonight through Wednesday morning. We're expecting to see temperatures dip as low as 30 degrees, which could pose a risk to plants and outdoor pipes that aren't properly insulated. Experts are advising residents to take caution before the cold weather hits, and those without housing might just find some shelter with the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army of Victoria is preparing to open its warming shelter tonight. The shelter is at the Salvation Army of Victoria offices at 1302 North Lewis Street. The warming shelter opens when the surface temperature drops below 39 degrees and the chill factor falls below 32 degrees. The shelter is open for men only.
If someone comes to us and they need shelter, then we're here for them. But we're here for them, and whatever they need, we can take care of their needs.
The Salvation Army isn't the only organization looking to provide support for critical groups when it gets cold. The Humility Project is accepting warm weather clothing and gear to help residents get through this freezing weather.
It kind of caught us by surprise with it being a little wetter and colder than usual. And so we're trying to do a campaign called Warm for the Holidays, where we're collecting things like socks and hoodies and heavy jackets and blankets and things like that.
The Humility Project's Kim Pickens says that sleeping bags and blankets are some of the most critical donations. The National Weather Service suggests to bring in sensitive pets and plants before the freezing weather hits the crossroads. Don, Shauna, back to you.
Trenton, thank you. And now about that freezing weather. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. How cold will it get tonight, Mac?
Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is it's probably going to get to freezing. The good news is it's only going to last for about an hour or two, okay? Now, as you can see here, we have freeze warnings for much of central Texas. You can see it right there. And then including Victoria all the way down to B County, we're in a freeze watch. So let's just say we'll be hovering in the low to mid 30s. And the good news is tomorrow the sun comes up and all that'll go away. So we'll have more details on your forecast coming up in a minute.
Mac, thank you. As cold weather sweeps in, dry conditions elsewhere are fueling dangerous wildfires. A wildfire in Malibu, California, exploding in a matter of hours to nearly 2,600 acres.
Powerful winds helping it grow. At least one home was burned down and many more threatened, with hundreds of people forced to evacuate. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has the latest.
A wildfire exploding in Malibu, California, forcing people to evacuate, growing from 1 acre to 100 in less than an hour.
There was so much fire in here, it was insane.
The Franklin fire threatening the lives of thousands of people in its path, as well as homes and other structures, fueled by bone-dry brush and Santa Ana winds gusting up to 76 miles per hour.
This home is now gone.
There's nothing you can really prepare for. Just kind of keep a watchful eye and let people know around you that are kind of stuck, elderly people, people with children, try to get everybody out.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deputies urgently going home to home, urging residents to evacuate.
Don't worry about your homes. Somebody breaking in and taking something. I know that's a lot to ask for, but we have professionals on our department, and we're not going to allow that to happen.
A police car damaged in the fire. Authorities saying the deputy was not hurt. 800 Pepperdine University students just a stone's throw from the Pacific Ocean were under a mandatory shelter in place that has been since lifted. Student journalists wearing masks, others filming the fire engulfing foliage right outside, and ominous skies hovering over the campus. LA County Fire Chief not releasing the specific cause for this fire, but pointing to climate change as a contributing factor to this year's wildfire activity.
I certainly think that global warming is impacting wildfire throughout the United States, and it's making it even more challenging for fire departments to respond to wildfire.
There is still an elevated fire risk on Wednesday, but the winds are expected to calm down, which is good news. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Results of a recent community health assessment survey are in, and local health officials are taking a closer look at the findings. The Victoria County Health Department, along with area hospitals and other state agencies, put out the health survey earlier this year. They wanted to know from community members about their health habits, along with issues they have accessing health care and developing a healthier lifestyle. Health Department officials say the answers were eye-opening.
The inactivity level was a surprising one for us. I mean, about the number of people who felt like they did not have access to physical activity equipment or just activities in general, like classes and such.
The lack of available transportation was also noted as a reason why some residents are not able to develop a healthier lifestyle. The health assessment survey is conducted every 5 years. And this brings us to our viewer poll today. What keeps you from living healthier? Is it access to a health club, finances, willpower, or the choices that you make, illness, time, transportation? Or do you feel that you are in excellent health? You're able to maintain a healthy lifestyle? We want to hear from you. If you haven't voted yet, come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. But willpower has taken over finances from earlier this evening. Finances was in the lead, but willpower now at 39%, just a few percentage points ahead. So I don't know, maybe you can make a New Year's resolution and find some of that willpower. But we want to thank everyone who voted tonight. A Victoria farmer is elected Secretary Treasurer of the Texas Farm Bureau at its convention in Round Rock. Brian Adamek was also re-elected to a 2-year term on the state board of directors. Adamek grows corn and cotton in Victoria County, and he has served for many years in numerous roles, including as president of the Victoria County Farm Bureau Board of Directors.
If you're looking for work, Workforce Solutions Golden Crescent is hosting a hiring event Thursday from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon at the Golden Crescent Workforce Center in downtown Victoria. Scaffold builders, scaffold leads, and carpenters are being hired for the Formosa site. Job seekers are encouraged to bring their resume, Safety Council badge, and TWIC card. The event offers on-the-spot interviews. Assistance for individuals with disabilities are available, and translation services are also available.
High-speed rail efforts in Texas have gained some momentum. The Texas legislature and Donald Trump may change that. You can read this full Texas Tribune article by visiting our website, crossroadstoday.com.
The city of Victoria is looking to make some multi-million-dollar additions to the community center. Some of the proposed changes include several new additions like a new baseball field and a new covered event arena. The plan would also change the current livestock expo arena into an indoor air-conditioned event venue. There are 2 proposed plans, one for $35 million and another for $45 million. The main difference between the 2 plans is the material for the roof on the proposed new arena. The cheaper option is for a fabric ceiling, which is made up of individual 10-foot panels connected by a metal frame. The more expensive option is for a traditional metal roof. The fabric roof is becoming popular in new buildings, and they were proven to survive the destructive hurricanes in Florida this year. The only way for the city to move forward with either proposal is through a public election. They are aiming to have the topic on the ballot next year. Council will decide during the first meeting of February next year if it will be added to the May ballot. If so, construction on the additions will begin in March 2026 and end in January 2027. That's just before that year's stock show. If the city chooses to have a November election, construction would begin in March 2027 and end in January of 2028. With a successful vote, the city would look into creating a venue tax that could potentially pull funds from car rental and hotel occupancy taxes. And City of Victoria officials say the venue tax won't affect local taxpayers if it makes it to the ballot in May.
A veteran San Antonio police officer dies after what appears to be an accidental shooting before a training day. This happened around 9:30 this morning at the shuttered Columbia Heights Elementary School on the southwest side of San Antonio. The police chief says the 30-year veteran officer gathered his things to attend a state-mandated alert training at the closed elementary school when his handgun discharged. Rushed to the hospital, but he later succumbed to his injuries. The police chief spoke about the officer who he says was getting ready to retire.
It's a sad day for SAPD right now. This officer was well respected. He was a fun guy. It's just a sad day for us, and everybody's feeling it.
Today's training was canceled due to the incident, and the investigation is ongoing. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, GM shifts gears on driverless taxis, why the automaker is pulling back, and how Tesla is stepping into the driverless game.
Also ahead, researchers say financial scam vulnerability may offer clues to early brain changes. What the study reveals after the break.
Welcome back. We are seeing the dramatic moment when a trash truck caught fire and exploded. Police body camera video captured the incident in Illinois. It happened Friday in Arlington Heights, which is a suburb of Chicago. Authorities responded to the scene after someone reported the truck fire. Shortly after police and firefighters arrived, the truck exploded. It sent debris and truck parts flying into the air. Several homes were damaged in the blast. 2 police officers and a firefighter were hurt but have since recovered. GM is shifting gears, scrapping its driverless taxi plans to focus on driver assist features that still require someone at the wheel. The automaker says it will not continue funding the billions of dollars needed to develop its Cruise robo-taxi business, citing the time, resources, and fierce competition from rivals like Waymo and Uber. Tesla is also entering the game, announcing plans for driverless vehicles and a robo-taxi service that lets owners rent out their cars when not in use.
With the holidays here, the Grinches are looming near, real Grinches, hoping you'll slip up and fall victim to their scams.
Reporter Brian Abel shows us some of the red flags and what to do if you don't catch them in time.
For scammers, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Because we're shopping more than at any point, throughout the year.
Those scams can be anywhere. Email, text messages, even while scrolling social media.
Unfortunately, scammers can follow us just like legitimate marketers. They can track our cookies, see where we're going, see what we're searching for, and then you'll see an ad pop up for something that you searched for maybe an hour ago.
Some of the top scams to be looking out for this year, according to experts, include those package non-delivery alerts. Text from scammers pretending to be shipping companies, hoping you'll click that link. Fake charities asking for a donation, gift card exchange or giveaway schemes, and those fake or misleading social media products.
We see a lot of websites pop up that have the same look and feel as a legitimate retailer, but maybe one of the letters in the URL are off.
There are ways you can protect yourself your finances, and your data by making sure the business is reputable, strengthening passwords, and by avoiding those questionable links in text or emails.
If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. If someone's offering it for a quarter of the price, half the price, you definitely vet the company that is offering that, because again, it's likely a scam.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Researchers at the University of Southern California may have found a new way to spot early stages of Alzheimer's disease. They say vulnerability to financial scams could be an early indicator. Researchers found an association between money matters and a brain region called the entorhinal cortex. That region links parts of the brain critical for memory revival and judgment. Based on this study, those with higher financial vulnerability had a thinner entorhinal cortex. The researchers note not everyone who makes poor financial decisions will develop Alzheimer's disease.
Interesting. Well, food poisoning can affect anyone, but if your immune system is running on low power, it might strike when you least expect it.
In tonight's Medical Minute, tips to help you stay safe with every bite.
If you have a weakened immune system, you may be at a higher than average risk of food poisoning, the CDC cautions. People with conditions such as diabetes, kidney or liver disease, autoimmune disorders, or those receiving chemotherapy or radiation may have a harder time fighting off germs and infections. To avoid food poisoning, pay extra attention to what you eat, as some foods are safer than others. Undercooked meat, unwashed fruits and vegetables, and raw milk can all be hazardous. Pre-made deli items like potato salad, egg salad, and coleslaw are riskier too, especially compared to the homemade versions. If you're a fan of cheese, stick with hard cheeses or pasteurized soft cheese heated to a safe temperature. As for eggs, cook them until both the yolks and whites are firm. Avoid sunny side up or over easy. Beware of raw cookie dough, as it's made with uncooked flour and egg. Seafood lovers, make sure fish is cooked thoroughly. Making safer food choices, especially if your immune system is compromised, can help you avoid feeling sick to your stomach. With this Medical Minute, I'm Zoreen Shah.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're already down to 49 degrees. Temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 30s, possibly freezing. We'll take a look at that in a moment. We got up to 66 today with the sunshine, but now the cold air has come in and it's going to settle on top of us. Our average high should be about 68. We'll talk about how low it's going to go coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. Early this morning, about 4 o'clock, we had that cold front that blew through, and that's why all day long we were getting that gusty northeast wind, and that is bringing the cold air into our area, and it's going to settle down. Cold, dry air, of course, loses heat more rapidly at night. Therefore, now we're really going to be sinking in the temperature department. All of the rain is now along the front. There was a little rain in North Dallas, but this is all going to be a fairly dry situation because, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes from the Arctic, or from Canada. It comes down and it doesn't have a lot of moisture with it. The storms that come off the west coast, now those have moisture on them. So this one is a dry air mass that's going to be settling on top of us. Now, around the state, everybody from possibly, I guess LaGrange to Austin to San Antonio, all the way to Del Rio, they're under a freeze warning. We are under a freeze watch. That includes Victoria County, down to B County, and all the way down to the Laredo area as well. So yes, this is where it really drops. Now, you're asking, well, why is the temperature here forecast to be 36 in Victoria? Well, that's true in the city. The city has asphalt, concrete, buildings, metal, all those things absorb the solar radiation during the day. And at night, the outer areas actually drop a little bit colder. So it could be that in the surrounding areas we'll hit that 32. And here's the good news. As soon as the sun comes up, it's going to be over. Now, the big winter freeze that you remember in 21, well, it went down below freezing and it stayed there. And that was the big problem. So this is just a dipping down to about 32 for a couple hours, and then it all moves up. But if you have tender plants that don't tolerate this, you better take care of it now. Offshore winds, you see them right about there. This is a northerly wind coming in, bringing the cold air. The thing is, it's going to be just for 2 days. Yes, by Thursday evening, we start seeing that old Gulf air roll back in, and so we're going to be in a kind of a cloudy, drizzly kind of pattern, kind of like last weekend, again as we get into this weekend. So it's not going to be clear and blue and beautiful for the weekend. We're going to be a little on the soupy side. Now, let's take a look at the long-term forecast. This is your Tuesday, then Wednesday, clear and cold. You see it right there. And then Thursday, we start seeing all that moisture roll back in. And by Friday, we got a chance for very light rain around the area. This would be less than 1/10 of an inch, but it may be a little sloppy. And that's Saturday. And then Sunday, we have a cold front coming in that will not arrive here until about Monday night. That one will bring some rain with it as it comes through the region. And so we are going to be watching for that. That's 7 days out. Now, let's take a look at what we expect for tonight in your day planner here. Clear skies by 6 a.m. will be up to 41 in Port Lavaca. Of course, they're by the water. They'll get up to 64 with sunshine. Cuero, you're getting down to that 33, 34. And by 6 a.m., you'll be at 37. Lots of sunshine, but cool north winds blowing. So after this little bout with freezing weather, then by Friday, we start warming up. Saturday, we'll be in the mid-70s, and we'll be on the overcast side all the way through. Again, that frontal system on Tuesday morning may have a better chance of getting us some rain, and so we'll be watching for that. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we got a QR code. If you scan that, you can put Crossroads Today on your cell phone. And we'll toss it over to Max for sports.
All right, thanks, Mac. And the Ganado Indians look to make history versus the Joaquin Rams this Thursday night. That's coming up in sports. All right, so yesterday we covered the Tidehaven Tigers state semifinal match versus the Woodville Eagles there in 3 Division II. But now today we turn our attention to the East area where we got Ganado and Edna in the state semifinal matchups. That will be on Thursday night. So first we're going to start with Ganado, who faces the first-time team that's making the state semifinals there in the Joaquin Rams, who beat top seed Honey Grove there, the Warriors. They're the winners there from Region 3. So game will be Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Wood Forest Bank Stadium in Shenandoah, Texas. It's kind of north of the Houston area. So star running back Logan Burrs and linebacker Logan Hicks are both preparing for this huge test this Thursday night.
Just doing everything I can to get my teammates ready for the game and playing hard, and hopefully turns out good.
Dominant run team, that's how they got there. If we can shut it down, then it should be a good night.
And Burrs and Hicks are ready to help the Indians reach the state championship versus a tough squad, like I just mentioned there in the Joaquin Rams this Thursday night. But now over there to Edna here again. Before we get to the Edna Cowboys and football, they showed some support there out there in the communities. Again, you got the storefronts. They were decked out in blue and white. Got a lot of cheers from encouragement there from the Edna fan base. So Cowboys again, they're going to be headed to the state semifinals and face, yes, they're going into the match of the Columbus Cardinals here in that matchup. Again, it's going to be a big one because Columbus is a powerhouse team there in the area. And again, this game will be at Rice Stadium there in downtown Houston this Thursday at 7 p.m. And again, even though the odds are stacked against Edna this week, head coach Jimmy Mitchell and quarterback Chase Schubert are taking this game like every week with one game at a time mentality.
The size taking it one day at a time, working hard, trying to get better each week, and hopefully we'll play our best game on Thursday. Hopefully we're peaking at the right time.
I think the dog mentality that we have, just striving to get better each week, never satisfied. I think that's what's getting us farther,
And head coach Jimmy Mitchell and Chase Schubert again are taking each practice, like I mentioned there, day by day, and hope they can get that big-time win versus Columbus this Thursday night. And again, I just mentioned there Edna and Ganado there in Jackson County, which leads here to our viewer poll here. Do you think Edna and Ganado will make it to the state championship here in Jackson County? And here it is. We got yes for both were the options, no for both of the teams there, just Edna or just Ganado. And again, it looked like majority said both of them think are going to go through, staying the same there. Some picking just Ganado, and you got, some that are around there for just Edna as well. So again, looking like hopefully for Jackson County, they can get Edna and Ganado winning there on Thursday night. Now over here to the Dallas Cowboys, quarterback Dak Prescott, even though he's recovering from an injury, his wife there, Sarah Jane Ramos, announced they will have another baby girl expected around May 2025. And again, both Ramos and Prescott have one child already there, and their daughter there, MJ, and go Prescott, and are excited to bring their second daughter, and they're keeping the name under the ropes for now, but they have hinted though the middle name will be Rain in honor of Dak's first name there. So kind of a little bit hint there for fun as well. And again, props there for Dak Prescott and his wife. That's going to do it here for sports. Don and Shauna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a 1916 Babe Ruth rookie card sells for a staggering price at auction. Hear the story behind the legendary find after the break.
The man seen on viral video attacking a Nevada judge is sentenced to decades in jail. Check this out. Clark County Court video shows Diabra Redden launching himself over the bench to attack Judge Mary Kay Holthus. Redden's trial was underway when he pleaded guilty but mentally ill to attempted murder and other charges. Well, on Tuesday, a different judge sentenced him to 26 years in prison.
A rare baseball card found in Massachusetts sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Last month, Jeff Gross said he met a man at a family estate sale who had a 1916 Babe Ruth rookie card from part of a promotion by Morehouse Bakery. The Bambino was still a pitcher for the Red Sox in 1916, predating his awakening as a legendary slugger and notorious trade from the Red Sox to the rival Yankees. The man said the card came from his father. He enlisted Gross to help sell the rare collectible. On Sunday, the card sold at auction for about $812,000. Now that is a home run.
Yes.
Right there for the Bambino. Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you, we could, some people could use some extra money to get warm tonight.
Well, that's the deal. You're probably going to light up the furnace if, hopefully you have one. If you don't, it's going to be a cold night. Looking at right now, we're at 49, and we're looking to drop to about the mid-30s here in the city. Surrounding areas may dip to 32. That's why we have the freeze advisory up for tonight. And again, tomorrow night will be almost as cold. The good thing is that once the sun comes up in the morning, it'll thaw out, and we'll have a fairly nice day with lots of sunshine and dry air. As we get to the weekend, though, all that Gulf moisture and the drizzlies come back. So it'll be 2 days of clear weather. It's just tonight and tomorrow night that we're looking at temperatures very close to freezing here in the Crossroads.
We were outside earlier and it was very windy as well.
Yep.
How long is that wind going to stick around with the cold?
Well, that's part of the cold air coming in, the cold air advection, as we say, and that is going to be with us tomorrow and the next day. But it all turns around and becomes very humid by the time we get to Friday, as all the Gulf moisture comes back in, and we'll be back to the soupy stuff.
Stay bundled up.
Thank you, Mac. And finally tonight, the United Nations designated September 11th, that's tomorrow, as International Mountain Day. The day promotes awareness of mountain communities. The UN says 15% of the world's population call the mountains home. Those communities face increasing challenges, including the effects of climate change on their environment and how to protect or restore biodiversity. The UN wants people on this day to think of their effect on mountain areas. You're also encouraged to celebrate the day by getting outdoors to enjoy a hike. That'd be a great place for it in those beautiful mountains.
Oh, yeah. At least while the sun's up, maybe.
That's right, exactly.
Warm it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Do it now.
Yeah, so maybe walk the trails, the park or something like
Right,
that. So.
right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Join Carolina Astor-Eam, meteorologist Parker Cox. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night. Stay warm.